Good morning. It is 9:36 a.m. on Saturday, November 9th, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up, sorta. This is 5 more minutes. I say sorta just because I got distracted reading the latest Unearthed Arcana, which is a sort of supplement to Dungeons and Dragons put out by the publishers of that game that is, playtest content. Like we're thinking about changing some things up, adding a few things here and there. So here's like a trial version if you want to play around with that and tell us what you think, that sort of thing. And this one is a little bit more unusual because most of these Unearthed Arcanas focus on like, oh, here's a new subclass for the bard or something like that. But this one is more a matter of enhancing and creating variant versions of a bunch of the existing class features. It seems like just shifting a balance a lot. And so like several of the classes get more new spells added to their spell list. And the ability, like when you gain a level or when you finish a long rest, you can switch out one spell for another. Like if you don't play the game, like none of this sounds very interesting, I'm sure. But that's what I was doing. I watched the rest of the newest season of She-Ra last night, and boy, what a good show that is. I'm very pleased with that this season in particular. Like I've enjoyed every season of the show, but this is just it's a very strong season, and it's very nice also just to see like the things happening in this season really do feel like organic developments from everything that has come before. It's not some new, like, even as the battlefield shifts a little bit and who's the big villain and what's the big danger is, changing slowly over the course of the series. And like the nature of the threat and everything, they have seeded all of these things into the past. So there's discussion of finally visiting Beast Island, but we've been hearing about Beast Island since I think probably season one. I don't remember what the first mention of it was, but had to be early on because I feel like it's something we've known about and just not seen for a long time. Stuff like that. And also, as I've mentioned in the recent videos that I talked about, there's so many great characters in this, but in particular, I feel like Katra is a character that I would put on the same level of some of my all-time favorite villainesses of all time. Maybe just even villains. I don't need to even make it female villains because honestly, I don't. I think putting it in that context is maybe not the right way to approach what my thought process was. Mostly, one of my favorite characters of all time from anything, just in terms of being fascinating as a villainous character, is Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who I think is an amazing character that is, uh, needs to be stopped, but is nonetheless a complex and compelling character within the context of the story. And you feel things for them even at the same time that it is unambiguous that what they're doing is dangerous and the heroes must try to stop them. And that it's not even a matter of like, oh, they just don't understand or something, but it's complicated. And I think that's amazing. And I think Katra is on that level for me. And, I'm just trying to, and now I need to re-examine exactly what's going on. Is like, why is it villainesses? But I almost, at the same time, like I'm trying to think of like what's another villain character, like what's the male villain list in my head compared to that female villain list. And I don't know, I mean, maybe it's just a matter of villains, and it's like, the villains that have been incredibly compelling for me, I don't, those are the two that come to mind right now. I'm not really thinking of any male ones that I feel kind of the same way about. Maybe part of what's going on there actually is just that part of what makes these two characters in particular so fascinating to me is the degree to which I relate to them, even as I recognize where their complexities make them a villainous character, but I understand kind of what's going on there. And so maybe that's part of it, is that I just find that I relate and understand to them in a way that makes them compelling, that I just don't feel for many other characters. I don't know. In any event, great show. Lots of other good characters in addition to Katra. The whole thing feels like, um, yeah, I mean, there's a complexity to it, and there's often a lot of just silliness that keeps the tone from getting too dark, but it also takes the characters on their various journeys seriously, and yeah, good stuff. So, in any event, I'm going to leave it there for today. Tomorrow is Sunday, and so I'll be returning to my rewatch of Cowboy Bebop. And so, in the meantime, I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.